Hey guys, this is AHAT Movie Reviews, and today I got two reviews for you. The first one is going to be for James Wan's Malignant. I've seen this movie 3 times already, and I wanted to simmer on it for a couple weeks to process everything, because this movie is it's something. It's something very whether you like it or dislike it, it is definitely something unique. You've never seen anything like this before. I'd be curious to see what a comparison to this movie would be, because it's more of an homage to a lot of things more than being compared to something. But the movie revolves around a woman named Madison who, as a child, had a lot of traumatic experiences that have resurfaced in her probably mid to late 30s. She's having haunting visions of murders and violence and just sheer terror, very vivid nightmares that she has a very hard time dealing with, and the whole movie's about basically finding out why she's having those nightmares, and well, we find out. Okay, I'll say about this movie, I really enjoyed that James Wan made a campy horror movie. It reminded me of the camp from Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th series, not so much Halloween, especially the earlier ones, but that camp factor that's more fun, cheesy. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream, a lot of movies from the 90s. That's what this reminded me of, is a late 90s, early 2000s slasher movie. And I think that's what James Wan was trying to convey here, is an homage to the 90s slasher movies, early 2000s horror movies, slasher movies. And he did a really good job of that. Horror movies don't do this much anymore, to where you infuse camp into your movie because no one takes it seriously. But I enjoyed the way he turned it all around on us and made something that's goofy, but it's also riveting. It's extremely riveting. Because the movie starts and it doesn't let you up the entire time. You're extremely interested in the movie, and there's going to be a breaking point about halfway through the movie where you're going to jump off or you're going to keep going. The movie gets crazier and crazier as it goes. It builds some really tense scenes, especially in the first half of the movie. The second half, it just goes off the rails, but the first half is very intentionally paced. The opening is very intentional. There's a lot of really cheesy moments, but that's the whole point of the camp, is it's very cheesy, very like in your face. You might laugh a little bit, you might cringe, but that's what James Wan was trying to convey to the audience. What he was trying to, the reaction he was trying to get out of us was just having fun at the movies again. And I feel like at the end of the day, this is a really fun horror movie. Good performances from Annabelle Wallis, who plays the lead. A couple other noteworthy performances, but nothing that'll blow your hair back. I think this movie's so original. There's so many camera angles that James Wan uses that just convey different points of view of different characters, and not going to give any spoilers, but I really enjoyed the pacing of this movie. The tense scenes that build to a crescendo. The twist, I understand if you predict some of the twist, but there's nothing like this movie. I just don't see someone walking in blind to this movie and predicting the end of it by the halfway point, middle point. Now, watching it multiple times, yeah, there are hints and clues that will lead you to maybe see where the ending where it comes from and everything like that. There's a lot of like cliff notes and stuff that lead to that. But the first time watching it, I had no clue. I kind of guessed kind of what was going on, and then when the twist happened, I'm just like, oh well, I didn't see that coming. The ending of the movie is kind of ho-hum. With the dark tone that the movie was going off of in the first half, combined with the campiness, I was just expecting a little bit different of an ending. Overall, it's okay, but like I said, the first half of this movie is extremely strong. There's a couple twists in the middle that you'll either be with or won't be with, and then I won't say the movie falls off, but it's just not a very... kind of a ho-hum ending. Nothing extremely satisfying, just kind of something that leaves you like, okay, that was alright. But the craft that James Wan puts into this movie, the time, the effort, the just attention to detail, the homages to old horror movies. If you're a true horror fan, I find it really, really hard to believe that you won't find something in this movie. It's not for everybody, and there's parts of it that aren't for me, but I just think the originality is something that we're really missing in Hollywood nowadays. I don't think we get enough of it, and I really am blessed that we have directors like James Wan that can bring new and fresh ideas to the screen, stuff that we've never seen before, stuff that'll shock us, and his methods of how he builds tension with these bombastic scores, and no jump scares, just loud noises, or you think you see something in the distance, but you don't know if your eyes are playing tricks on you, and then by the time you realize if there's something there or not, it's already transitioned to another scene. It's just brilliant the way that James Wan directs films. It's gotten so much better over the years, and he's just, at this point, one of my favorite directors. He might be my favorite. He's definitely one of my favorites. I would say overall, this is not his best movie. It's more middle of the pack. I don't think it's as good as Saw. I don't think it's as good as Insidious. I don't even think it's as good as either of the Conjuring movies. But this movie has some very special things in it. And I think as time goes by, this is going to be a built-in cult classic that people will talk about for years. And I just think it's a really unique movie. And I think if you're a horror fan, or if you consider yourself a true horror fan, just check it out. You may not like it. Like I said, it's not for everybody. But I definitely recommend horror fans that have been embedded in the genre for years, give it a try. It's a pretty good movie. If I were to give a score for this one, I'd give it like a 6.6. It's right there above the watch it, go see it in theaters, watch it phase. Anything above 6 for me is go see it in theaters. And I say this is right there at it. I watched it at home the first time. Pretty good. Went and saw it in the theaters the second time, even better, especially with a crowd that's kind of just getting into the whole excitement of what's going on in the movie and just the shock and awe and everything. I'd probably give this movie a 6.6 out of 10. But if there's a couple tweaks in this movie has some really, really special things in it. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a movie that I'll rewatch a lot going forward.